Targeting civilians on a civilian train is an act of terrorism, and the Ukrainian regime know that, and moreover, their NATO masters know it. That means the governments in London, in Paris, in Berlin, and in Washington know that these acts are acts of terrorism. They are war crimes. They are crimes against humanity. The bombing of the nuclear strategic bombing Tu airplanes in the 5 targeted Russian air bases is not in itself terrorism until you look at the way in which these drones were delivered. There's a suspicion that some of them were launched from Finland and Norway, which, if true, will be of enormous magnitude. But most of them were launched from log cabins or the back of trucks that had been driven by people wearing civilian clothes across Russia in order to place them close to these strategic nuclear facilities. Now, wearing civilian clothes to commit acts of war is, of course, a war crime. It renders the belligerent stripped of the protections of the Geneva Convention. They can be executed if they are caught. But there's no doubt that it has provided a very useful war propaganda, armed war propaganda, for the Ukrainian side and their paid cohorts of NAFO fools and fellas are, of course, celebrating on social media. I thought I had gotten rid of all of them, but I've just had to block 20 or 30 more. But they'll be laughing on the other side of their face, or rather, the poor people of Ukraine, because the NAFO people are never in Ukraine. They don't even claim to be in Ukraine. They're just in the pay of those who are paying for the war in Ukraine. But the people in Ukraine are right now under incredible barrage of ballistic missiles, and maybe more to come. Maybe we'll get another viewing of the terrifying power of the Oroshenk missile, against which no defense in the world is yet available. The response to what happened today, when 4 nuclear bombers were set on fire, presumed destroyed, definitely an insurance write-off, is good propaganda, but of course it will change nothing in the course of the war. Russia has thousands of bombers, and it has thousands and thousands of very powerful weapons, including, of course, 1,500 operational nuclear missiles. It has battlefield nuclear weapons. It has the Oroshenk, and it has in total more than 4,500 nuclear bombs. I'm making these points not out of any love of war pornography, for I have none. That is not an affliction I have ever had. I've been in too many war zones for that. But to make the next point that I want to express, if anybody destroyed 4 United States Air Force nuclear bombers, what do you think would be the result? What do you think the United States would do to any country, any belligerent that broke the nuclear threshold, broached the inner sanctum of the nuclear doctrine of the United States of America? You just have to ask yourself that question, and you already know the answer. And the Ukraine will be getting that answer right now and in hours and days to come. Of that I have no doubt.